Okay, so we got our alternator. First thing that you want to do before you start ripping the old one off is make sure that the alternator that you got is the correct one. So we're going to cut into this thing. We're going to make sure that it is correct. This is a new alternator, by the way. Make sure the thing spins free. Let's get it flipped right now. That does look right. So that should work. So the first thing that we're going to have to do is get the belt off. Always look at the belt, make sure the belt looks good. Belt's not cracked, so belt looks fine. Let me get my 3/4 inch ratchet so that I can get down there on the belt. Let me get my T-pins out of here. Get that unplugged. That looks like 10mm. Now, I don't always do this, but theoretically, you should disconnect the battery. Always disconnect the negative side first. And the reason for that, if you're wrenching on the battery terminal, if you're over here on the positive side and your wrench was to swing around and hit the body, hit this ground stud, or even anything that's got a negative potential to it, you're going to see some sparks. If you're on this lug, on the negative, and you come around and you hit the body, nothing's going to happen. Body's already at same potential. So, no, I'm not going to do that. This is out in the open enough to where whenever I pull this off, I'm just going to put some tape or something on it to make sure it doesn't hit, and I'm going to go with that. So, oh yeah, let me get the wrench to get the belt off. So I just got my telescoping Harbor Freight ratchet that I specifically bought just to do these tensioners. Because it's telescoping, it makes it easy to adjust to the exact length that you need. Come on. All right. So belt's off. 10mm. Now again, this is live right now because I did not disconnect the battery. So as long as you know, as long as you keep track of where this is at, you can, since this alternator's up top and there's not a whole lot of things that can go wrong, I put the boot back around it and I'm just going to put it right there out of the way. Again, I would probably recommend for most people to disconnect the battery to be on the safe side. deep well for that one. Okay, 3 bolts, couple connectors, the alternator's off. New alternator, I'm going to put the top bolt in, that way it'll kind of hold it. Again, this is a new alternator. I'd rather go new than remanufactured, personally. Alright, that should have done it. Just to make sure, I like to be able to feel. Yeah, they're all pretty tight. Whoa, almost dropped that. Now, do not use an impact to tighten this one up. In fact, I probably shouldn't even be using my 3/8, but alright, alternator's all installed. We just need to get this belt hooked up. And my arm's in the way, and see if I can use the pry bar. There we go. That's it. Make sure that all the cogs are where they're supposed to be, or all the grooves, or whatever the heck they call them. Now you need to unclip the ratchet. Alright. Now before I start this up, I'm going to go ahead and put a little top charge on the battery. The one thing that the one risk that you run if you have a dead battery and you put a new alternator in it and you start the vehicle up is the computer, or however the alternator is controlled, obviously wants the battery charged up. So it will generally charge at 100%, trying to charge the battery where it wants it to be. And causing the alternator to work that hard for an extended period of time can, at the very least, shorten the life of the alternator, and sometimes it'll actually burn the alternator out before you actually get out on the road. So I'm going to top charge the battery for a few minutes, 15-20 minutes, and then we'll come out, we'll start it up, we'll check everything, and call it a done deal. But that's you know, That's about, what, a 5-minute alternator job? 10-minute max. You gotta love the easy alternators when they're up here on top. The only other thing that I would actually personally do is do something with these battery terminals. Not the greatest setup right here, but anyway, let me get a top charge on this battery. Okay, so we got battery top charge. Let's clip off here, see where we're at. What do we got? 12.4. So that should be plenty good. Let's go ahead and start it up. Let's make sure the battery light does go out, which it does. I can already tell that the voltmeter is a little higher than where it was. I can actually hear an alternator whine. So I can already tell that the alternator is charging. To verify that, let's go ahead and hit our positive. Okay, we've got about 13.8 at idle. If we revved it up, I'm sure it would go higher. So now let's do some voltage drops. So I'm going to clip off here. It's always best to actually go straight to the center post of the battery, but unless you're holding it on there, you can't always do that. So I'm going to go right there. And this just verifies the integrity of the wiring. So I'm going to go right here to the center post of the alternator. And we have right at almost 0.3. I don't know if you can see that or not. Which is, that 0.3 to 0.5 is an acceptable voltage drop on the B positive wire. Now, a lot of people, and also that's without a load. I have very seldom do I turn everything on. It is best to turn on the compressor, and we'll do that just to see what the difference is. It'll be a little higher. Let's go ahead and do a case to the negative battery terminal voltage drop. So I'm going to go to the case, and it's always going to be lower, or well, it should be lower. That's 0.1 volt. So, yeah, there you go. Now, alternator's charging. That obviously was the fix for it. The battery light was never on, which is still puzzling. It should have been on, but for some reason the PCM decided that it didn't want it on. Let's see. Yeah, I guess that's about it. Got a good alternator in it again.